All right, welcome to Coffee with the K's. This is season 3, episode 2. I am Josh K. This is Ron K. This is Kyle K. We're the K's. And we have coffee, and you're joining us and having coffee with us, hopefully.
And we have exciting coffee, a lot of coffee.
Before we get started, let's look at the approaches here. I have a semicircle pattern of my coffee. You have a straight line of your coffees.
Yes.
He's got a triangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that say? Is there some kind of psychological meaning to all this?
Yes, I'm
funny.
a little OCD. I think it's what that says.
Yeah.
I really think.
No, I had to have my coasters. So
He had to have coasters.
All about the coasters.
I was going to put this on the table without the coaster.
No.
Oh, jeez.
But it was initially in front,
Well,
and then
you
it was
know,
blocking the ambiance.
You've already messed up my table. So.
Okay, that's a
I don't know how many
story
times
for
you
another
missed
time.
My dad scratched my new table.
Well, that was just the beginning. See, then I don't know. It's been burned.
It's kind of
and
like
all this
buying a new
stuff.
Kia.
Yeah.
And on the first day, your wife brings it back from the store with a nick in it.
Oh no!
The wind just took the door,
Don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. The wind took it, and somebody's mirror was in the way.
Oh my gosh!
So
we are the K's, and this is our podcast where we talk about coffee, football, and music because those are the 3 things we're into. So coffee, football, music, in that order.
Yes.
So
we are into other things too. But
yeah,
those
I
are
know.
the top 3. I think.
That's it. So what we have done today is we've created what's called a cupping, which is a tasting, basically, of 3 different types of coffee, and each interesting blends, mixes. Some of this is stuff that we've received from students. One is something that they just kept hassling me on Instagram, and I finally bought it. So,
there you go.
And now they keep hassling me anymore.
It was a good choice.
So, yeah.
Well, we'll see if we like it.
The whiskey barrel one?
We're gonna see. So here's what we got.
Okay.
We have from Cambodia. We have our weasel coffee, which if you have not seen our weasel coffee episode yet, you need to go check it out because that's when we first sampled this. But this is done a little bit differently. This is a French press of the weasel coffee.
Good.
Well, the reason we requested Josh do the French press is when you listen to the Weasel Coffee, I think it's the Weasel Coffee episode, because we talk about the Weasel Coffee on the last episode as well, season 3, episode 1, and season 2, episode 12, I think it was.
We talk a lot about weasels, huh?
Yes. And, well, because you said defecate, and I think some of our younger viewers don't know what defecate
Wasn't
is.
sure what that means. All right, so let's lay this out, guys.
Poop.
Yes. Yes. The civet eats the berries. The seeds are in the berries. The weasel poops the berries. The seeds of the berries out. They come out in these long little nuggets where they're all together. And then the farmers gather them up.
Mistletoe.
Wash them off. That's what it is. Yep. Wash them off.
Yes. Oh, this
burn
is
it up.
Really good coffee.
And
It's awesome.
we drink it.
So you get more oil in the way that you made it today.
In the French press.
Yes.
Yes.
And that makes a lot of difference for a lot of coffees. Some of them that are rather light, this makes them a little heavier and more robust, and the flavor is just killer. This one is just so good.
One of the problems with French presses is there's a tendency to over extract, and then you get some bitterness and stuff in the
bitterness.
Beans. So
Well, it's just really thick, and then there's even like a residue at the bottom. Are you supposed to have?
I hope
that?
it's not a berry.
No, it's. Well, it's
Yeah, I mean because it's when it came to me, I didn't grind it, so it's already been pre-ground. So there's going to be unevenness in the grinding because
and it is a blend. We talked about that in the episode that it's a Cambodian blend that includes the weasel poop coffee.
Yes. Okay. So it's not 100% weasel poop.
It isn't. No, but it's really yummy and really probably one of our favorites. So
yes, it's awesome.
we have to cleanse the palate because
Here we go. Water. I decided to put them in the glasses because my mom and dad like to bring over the biggest water bottles known to man.
it's
They're
33 and a half
6
ounces.
foot tall
I don't know what
bottles of water. Yeah. So I'm like, that kind of gets in the way of the camera
We
shot.
believe in hydration.
Okay.
So the second one.
Okay, what is this? Honduras. Okay, so this is from Gary. Shout out Gary.
Gary.
Thank you,
Cerezo,
Gary.
Gary
thank you.
Cerezo, Banjo student.
Banjo student.
Okay, so yes, he gave us this from Honduras, and it's so Honduran
really
that
yummy.
it's not in English. So
Wow.
that's how you
yes.
know.
That's authentic there.
That's how you know
He
it's
took a trip to
authentic.
Honduras and thought of us, which we
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Producto hecho en Honduras.
What a guy.
There we go.
Thank
So
you for
yeah,
us that
Tueste
coffee.
Especial.
So different from the weasel.
Weasel.
Is it really?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm gonna need some more
Not-
water because I still got that weasel taste in my mouth. It's really good. Don't get
It's
me wrong.
really. I don't even know how to describe it. Give me a minute.
Okay. Well, for one thing, right at the look of it, it looks like it's a lighter roast.
It is lighter.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
because
they're
this
each lighter.
weasel is
They
very
come-
thick.
But it's got a very good coffee taste.
Mm-hmm.
This
It
was
is-
almost like a coffee candy.
It has a little citrusy taste to
Citrusy.
it.
Where
You always
citrusy?
get the
It's
citrus.
Just
it's
make
like
it up.
drinking a bottle of orange
I
juice.
think it's your mouthwash or something.
I don't know. Just always with the citrus. Like,
Well,
okay.
what do you say? What are the hints?
Oh, got quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so lighter.
See,
I guess
have
there is
a little lime kind of taste.
I don't
in
know.
there.
I'm not
That's
getting the
what it
lime.
is.
That either.
I'm not getting the lime, but like maybe a passion fruit.
But this is
kinda
a person
thing.
who hasn't had citrus in her diet for decades.
Yeah, I
Until
know.
the last, year
It's
or
like,
two?
now
Not even year
everything
two, like the last 2
tasting citrus.
months. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Now you're eating oranges and grapefruits.
And it's amazing. Yes, just that's kind of an aside story, but I was always allergic to citrus my
Yeah.
entire life. Broke out in a rash
Until she changed her diet.
until I
How
changed
about
my
that?
diet, and
Yeah.
and then I thought I really scared. Like, okay, I'm gonna try a piece of orange. I couldn't even touch oranges. I would break out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember
Your
you would
lips
cut them
and-
for me and Caroline, and, then you would
I'd
just
break
be,
out in
yeah,
a rash.
Yeah, it would be
and
bad.
so I can eat like complete full oranges. This morning we had grapefruit with our breakfast.
Wow.
And it's so exciting and for
It's
me,
pretty
and I'll
awesome.
cry because I went my whole life missing this whole aspect of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. You know,
Anyway,
it's
so-
funny because I forget. Like, I mean, I was all growing up, and stuff. But then, you think about how it was and how it is now. I mean, it's really good.
Well, her diet changed everything.
Yeah.
it-
She's so much more healthier now than I think she's ever been in her life.
Yeah,
So it's just
absolutely.
a testament to low carb or no carb.
yeah.
There you go.
You know.
Eat
There you
steak.
go. Yeah.
Eat butter. This is I just don't even know how to
I'm
describe it.
yeah,
It's
the
very,
caramel. I
very
think like Dad said something about the candy. I'm like, yeah, I can kind of hear hints of
of a caramel
caramel taste. Yeah,
taste. Little nutty.
not
nutty.
caramel.
It's very yummy.
You
I mean,
didn't
it
catch
really
that
is.
I caught it.
Oh, did you? Okay, you weren't gonna
Shut
say
your
anything,
luck.
really?
Caramel.
Okay.
I still want to have another sip of the weasel coffee.
Well, it's gonna mess
You're gonna
everything up.
mess up your taste buds.
Yeah, because this
Okay,
is
sorry.
definitely way lighter. So yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It's very. It is light. It's not as full bodied. I made it with a pour over.
Yeah, but it is
Well, that
full.
might be
It
why
has a
it's
nice.
not as. You should have made them all at French press.
Well, yeah, then we would have been here for like an hour.
Apples
so.
and oranges,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Well,
No, but it is. It's a
not.
good.
Yeah,
It's a good blend.
It is a light roast though. There's only so far you can go with the French press.
This
on
is
a light
very
roast.
delicious coffee.
It's
Would
yummy.
be good to sit outside on a nice sunny day and drink a cup of this. It'd be
Yeah,
And
great.
this
it's
would
good,
taste good with a little
Good
cream
morning
in it. I think.
morning coffee. See, the weasel coffee is like afternoon, like dessert kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like this is great morning coffee right here in Honduras.
It is. It was delicious.
Yeah.
So I
And
love
this
it.
is
Thanks,
the
Gary. And
coffee
then
you
this
want to
is-
drink with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, this is the late night special right here.
doesn't
so
smell like
this is Oaken Bonds, barrel aged. This is Guatemalan single origin, double barrel bourbon aged in whiskey barrels.
It really doesn't even
Is it
taste
Jack
like
Daniels
coffee.
barrels?
I don't know. They didn't say. Probably.
They're very popular for
Well,
other.
definitely
they
has
are.
a bourbon flavor
Yeah,
too.
no,
Yeah.
It does.
Well, I
Tastes
bought
like a drink.
when I bought this coffee. They
It's-
also
it's very
had wood
tasty.
chips, for like smoking and the grill and
Did
stuff.
you smell it?
It smells great.
You
Yeah.
smell it. It smells like alcohol.
Yeah, that's it.
So
I'm gonna try it.
tell me about. And it's kind of neat because when you do go to a wine tasting, you go from you start with the heavier wines and you go to the lighter wines, right?
No,
Is
I
that-
think it's
the other way around.
Yeah. It's been so long since you've been to a
Oh,
wine
you're
tasting.
right. We did it backwards. We should have started with the light.
The light and gone darker,
yeah,
right? Because that's
right.
why I even said about the weasel, like that was so heavy. I needed to drink a lot to get it down. No, this definitely tastes like if you took coffee and
Pour Jack
Daniels in it. That's what this tastes like. Yeah.
Without the there's no burn.
And their sales just went up 20%.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it really
was
is.
I really?
It's very flavorful, though.
Yeah.
I mean, again, very yummy flavor. And that one is really light. I mean, I don't know.
It's really crazy because you can actually, you really can taste
sound,
the oak. I'm sorry.
It's it's very oaky.
And a little bit of charcoal.
Yeah.
You know?
You really can taste that. That's pretty awesome.
This is very yummy. So this is our cupping.
Yes.
Our coffee tasting. Josh has gotten a new piece of coffee paraphernalia. That's a. Did we say that in the last episode? It's a try.
I hear your garage has more room. I know. A little space out there.
No, that was it. I got rid of the Instapot, so to make room for the.
Well, coffee. We always were wanting pour overs, all three of us, and so it was always like he would have to do a pour over for Ron, then do a pour over for me, and then he'd end up just doing like a Nespresso pod because we ran out of time. So then he finally bought this try pour over thing. So it's like a stand, and you put 3 pour overs, and you can do 3 at the same time.
You know how hard it was to find that, though?
Very hard. Yeah. And it came from,
it's not a high demand, I'm sure.
Well, the thing that was bothering me is I was like, you can go online and find pictures of all of these coffee shops and cafes and everything where they've got tons. They got like 12, 12, rack thing like that, And so I was like, all right, so this is like a commercial thing. So let me look up commercial product. Could not find it.
No, and
anywhere.
A lot of them were like custom made.
Yeah, that was the thing.
You could go on Etsy and get them custom made for you.
Yeah, there was a guy on Etsy that was making them out of wood. It was like $300, and I was like, I don't know, that's a little. I was like, a
little rich.
I don't know, sure. So this one is just made out of metal, and it came from China and took
So we hope
months
that
to
you
get there.
become a coffee drinker because it's a good way to live. I mean, coffee's actually good for you.
Yeah.
Josh was always pointing out the benefits every time he reads an article about the benefits of drinking coffee.
I'm like, there it is.
Because my experience was like in the Navy, man. It was 2 pots of coffee a day in an 8-hour day. Mm-hmm. And that includes coming home at lunch and just crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and then going back and firing it up again. But this is not like that.
Right.
I find that this kind of coffee doesn't do that, what the Mr. Coffee kind of thing does.
Yeah, well, and it's also in moderation. I mean, you're getting a certain amount, probably about 8 ounces or so. You're not necessarily drinking an entire pot, and stuff.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's the latest article that I read. I was just pulling it up. Said that the best way to do it is 3 cups of coffee, like to get the maximum health benefits out of it, like including the heart benefits
in a day?
and antioxidants. 3 cups a day, yeah. Which I probably exceed, but
I think so.
I do 4, I'm sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't drink that much.
See, I have 2 in the morning. I usually have 2 in the morning.
2 to 3.
Yeah, I usually have 2 in the morning.
You probably do 2 to 3.
I do 2 to get going, and then I have 1 later in the evening.
And then sometimes instead of the second cup of coffee, you have like an espresso, which is coffee.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. I switched. I'm just drinking straight coffee now.
It's from the Keurig.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I get 2 in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon, but then, if it's a particularly rough morning, it's usually there's a
My
third cup.
bowels did not like the espresso coffee on top of the regular coffee.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah.
I had some bad problems there for a while.
So somebody pointed out in one of the things I was reading about Nespresso, they were dogging on Nespresso and saying how bad it was, and I was like, okay, well, I love my Nespresso machine, so like, what's the deal with this? So I started reading it some more, and they pointed out, and I think they're right, the fact that the coffee gets, like when I just made for you guys, coffee was ground right away, cup was made, right?
Yes.
And when Nespresso, they grind the beans, put them in the capsules. Who knows how long they sit in there?
Long time.
So it could
Right.
be
So they were saying that, a lot of times these pods, by the time they get to the consumers, coffee's gone stale.
Yeah.
And especially if it's, a coffee that's not in season, because it's, something that they're stocking up and whatnot. And so I don't know if I still like the Nespresso, but I did wonder if there was some truth to that, because there have been some types that I've had of the Nespresso that I really just didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of flavor there. And it wasn't like the only reason why I was drinking it is because it was fast, and in the morning I'm tired and I just wanted the coffee,
Well, there's definitely, for me, a comfort factor in drinking coffee. I mean, it's just, there's times even like if I'm particularly, like you said, having a stressful day at school, I make coffee, and even the kids will come in the room and be like,
what smells so
like
good?
Coffee in
here.
And it kind of puts this nice ambiance. And
well, that's that article you read at one time that said, because I told you I drink coffee and I go to sleep.
Oh
yes.
In the afternoon, and you were like, well, there's a calming effect of drinking coffee.
Yeah.
People don't talk about. They only talk about getting juice with the caffeine.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does. It mellows you out.
Well, one of my students yesterday, Samantha, if you're listening, I'll shout out to Samantha. Mm-hmm. She said that her father drinks coffee at night and goes to bed, and she was like, I just don't understand that, because she says she gets revved up, but we talk a lot on these podcasts about putting sugar in your coffee, and that can be a problem. None of us put sugar in our coffee at all. If we add anything, we add a little bit of heavy cream.
Yeah.
Or some foam from the heavy cream.
Yeah, that's it. Yummy. Well, and it took time to kind of get to that point. Like, I think a lot of times, what's your first introduction to coffee? Like, mine was Folgers. You know what I mean? Like, that's Sanka, right? I mean,
people are going, what?
What? Yeah.
Sanka. Are we dead yet?
Yeah. So that's the thing, is it's like if your first introduction to coffee is that, it's pretty terrible, and it's like, I needed to stay awake, so you put the sugar and the cream and all that, and then you think, oh, that's drinking coffee, and it's like, no, that's not drinking coffee. You need quality coffee. You need.
Well, and then when you were younger, I mean, and first drinking coffee, we would go to Starbucks and we would get like a mocha chip cappuccino.
The frappuccinos and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't really coffee. Yeah,
it really was like a milkshake, and it was always fun and exciting to do that, because you were younger, and we would. But it was not really any coffee to that. It was all sugar.
Yeah, so, I cut back on my heavy cream now in my coffee. It's just all black all the time. It's more enjoyable.
It is. You do taste
the coffee. There's a transition
coffee.
Phase, I'll be honest with you, because you really miss it the first time.
Yeah.
If you keep going, if you put it in there, it wouldn't taste quite right,
Right.
Well, I think it changes the flavor profile. Like, I think all of what we just tried right now would taste different if it had cream in it.
Yeah.
Well, I like that afternoon cup after I get home from school. I like to have a cup of coffee, and I really enjoy it with the cream. There's just something. It's a comfort thing. I don't know. It helps me relax. I sit down for a few minutes before we start our lessons.
Well, it is heavy cream.
Heavy cream. Well, so and it's one of those things where, like, people do milk, and there's oat milk and almond milk, and there's all these different types of milks. That changes the flavor profile as well.
Does. Mm-hmm.
Coconut milk, this probably would taste awesome. This weasel coffee with coconut milk.
Oh yeah,
that would
coconut
probably taste
cream.
really good. Yeah.
I watched a thing about how you could put the coconut milk in the refrigerator, and it separates, so then the cream is on the top.
Oh.
So then you could just scoop that out and whip that up, make that frothy.
Creme.
That would be that might be yummy.
It's good.
My problem is I want the coffee to stay hotter longer. I like it hot. Like right now,
That's why you have to drink it fast.
I know. I got when you guys still have coffee left.
I have a little bit of weasel.
I do too, but I really like it. I like to get one of those things.
Yeah, I was gonna say the mug warmer.
Yeah.
Those are expensive though. Have you seen that?
I don't think that the steel cup keeps it warm.
I agree. I don't think so either.
It sucks the heat out of it.
I think I was wrong about that. Yeah. So if you watch that in the Weasel episode, you will see. Yeah, I think I definitely was wrong. I think of these three, this one kept it warmer longer.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's the what is that, ceramic?
It's ceramic. That was better.
That's the ceramic.
It's a little mini.
Got that from Nespresso. So there was a study done that said that these right here supposedly keep it hotter longer.
I don't know. It was. This did not.
But this ceramic porcelain right here, I really like that. Now this, to me, this is my favorite one.
It is.
The double walled. Yeah. This is a double walled cappuccino, and then I have a double walled espresso just for like mini shots, you know. But I think this is my favorite. I think that one.
I've been trying to find those.
Oat coffee in there,
yeah,
and you don't have to worry about keeping it warm.
Yeah, right.
That's it. You can write down like a shot.
That was delicious. We want to get some of that.
I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, like I said, just kept seeing the Instagram because of course Instagram knows that I'm a coffee drinker, so I keep getting all the But I started following them because it was an interesting concept, and I bought some, and then I figured, well, let's save it for an episode and give it a shot. So.
There you go.
It's pretty good.
We kind of went on about coffee today.
Yeah.
Let's transition to medication.
Okay. You're already starting off the season this way, all right? So come on.
The off season.
The off season, right? We haven't even started to see. All right. First of all, before we get going on Browns, okay. Let's congratulate the LA Rams for winning their Super Bowl.
And specifically Odell
Beckham with the clutch play. Yes.
That he got screwed in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he was not the evil person they were making out to be, not a team player and all that other stuff, because he went in there. Well, first of all, when he left that beautiful letter to the organization,
to the fans.
That was the most
very gracious,
Christian, humble thing I've ever seen in my entire life coming from a sports person.
It was very, very
nice. And he left with no hard feelings, and he goes to this new home, and all of a sudden he's scoring touchdowns.
Yes.
And then he was actually the one who scored the first touchdown
of the Super Bowl.
in this Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so happy, man.
Yeah.
Just I could have cried, man. It was like, Odell deserves to heal up quickly.
Yes.
Because it was really sad that he got
injured,
hurt.
and it was the other leg. That's
Oh, I know.
Was it the other leg?
Yes,
yeah.
that's what
it wasn't.
said.
It wasn't the one that he hurt last year.
He had the surgery.
So,
well, you could just see on the replay, man. He just jammed it right into the ground. So, but maybe that'll not be that serious of an injury, and he can come back. I appreciate the fact that the Rams took him in and showed him some love. Yeah. And he blossomed.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that was what I said about him before. He's the kind of guy, if he feels comfortable and he feels the love from the team and the coaches and stuff, he goes to the limit, man. Right. And he'll go to the moon.
Oh yeah.
To get a victory. And that's just what he does. And he's running the same way he ran in Cleveland. He doesn't stick to the patterns all the time. And then he's open. And the quarterback's smart enough to know, hey man, if nobody's open, Odell is.
Well, and I think that was also a testament to how good Matt Stafford is, because
he's very smart.
The field.
Yeah, he does. He does. And the thing is, playing in Detroit, he was always like that. He was always doing that. He was always getting guys, throwing guys open and stuff. And it just Detroit is a mess, So it just he was in a bad system. He needed to go somewhere where people could appreciate him and play him away. And so similar kind of thing with Odell. Matt Stafford went through the same thing. So the two of them just perfect together.
Yeah, good combination.
Well,
did you see Van Jefferson, the wide receiver, that his wife went into labor in the middle of the game?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she said that she was having contractions at the beginning, but didn't tell him anything because she didn't want him to mess up his game. Yeah. So she didn't tell him that she was having contractions.
Oh my god!
But they weren't, she was timing them and stuff, and it wasn't, it wasn't time. And then about halfway through the game, it started just.
And she had the baby.
Next after the next. Yeah, they took her to the hospital. So they win the Super Bowl, and he's celebrating. His kids are out there, and he's talking to them, and it's like, okay, where's mom? And, yeah, we gotta go. Mom's in the hospital.
Wow. Well,
she's having a baby.
She gets a ring and a baby.
I know, right? Yeah, that's
a good payoff.
Awesome.
That's it. Yeah.
Well,
it was pretty funny.
in all fairness, we were technically rooting for Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, and the team because we really wanted to see them
Joe
win.
Burrow.
We like Joe Burrow.
He's a very talented quarterback.
But I told all my friends at school that I wanted Odell to score a touchdown because I really like him and believe in him, and I have my Odell Beckham Browns jersey that I'll still wear.
What was bad about it was that Stefanski, Mr. In-house, took that anywhere but in the house.
Yeah.
And had the commentators on all these other games talking about what a douchebag Odell was.
Well, but this, to be fair, okay, Yes, that was handled
He's the
wrong.
problem. Now we're going to see he's going to really screw up. And
well, here's the
Stefanski
never said that. Okay, so it was all just implied because of what happened to Odell in New York,
right,
when he was playing with the Giants.
No, it wasn't New York only. He picked up on that.
Yeah, I know,
and he used it to club him to death with.
Yeah, but that was
on
the
his
thing.
way out the door.
He already had a little bit of that reputation coming into Cleveland in the first.
I understand that,
definitely.
but he didn't treat us that way.
Right. No.
You know, the people in the locker room loved him.
Right.
He was charismatic. He was a good team player. He was a good man.
Right.
Somehow Stefanski didn't like him. And then when he gets rid of him, you know, he just turned on him like a rabid dog.
Yeah,
man.
but that's what I'm saying is the way that it played out for us was what we heard people he said in the locker room.
There was a lot of hearsay.
It was right, and his official word was he was a great player for us. We wish him well, and then moved on. That was what he told the press.
That's called a left-handed smack.
Yeah, well, that's it. So but that's the thing is like he didn't go out and badmouth Odell overtly.
Yeah, so he couldn't get nailed with it.
It could have been done better, but I will. This is an interesting thing that I'd like to point out. Okay. Sean McVay, who's the head coach for the Rams. Okay, you're not going to like this. Okay,
oh, no.
Sean McVay, who's the head coach for the Rams. All right, this is what he got hired in 2017. He was coach of the year the second year that he was the coach. Did he win the Super Bowl that second year? Did he win it the third year? No, he won it this year, but he was coach of the year,
so
and it took time for him to get there.
If you get Coach of the Year, you're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, I'm not saying that. But
I'm telling you, if you're saying that.
You have said in podcasts past that the Coach of the Year ruins people. And Stefanski got ruined because he got Coach of the Year. And what I'm saying is maybe it's too early for us to say that. He made some mistakes, but all beginning coaches, even Belichick, made mistakes.
Take what we know about him. Is he going to change, or is he going to stick to the plan?
We don't know. We haven't seen.
You watched the whole season where it was 4th and 11.
A whole season.
And he says, you know, on fourth down, we got to go for it. Let's run.
One season. We saw a bad season. We saw one bad season. That's what I'm saying. Let's just put this in perspective.
Because 0-32 is coming again.
That's the thing. So there was a guy.
There's a lot of history that would carry us with us.
Man.
Right.
You know, it's like I can't conceive how Haslam's still holding on to him. And
because
I watch him coach
one bad season.
I'm watching it was a really bad season.
Yeah, okay.
A season that was packed with nuclear potential.
Okay, let me
wait a minute. Nuclear potential blown to bupkis.
Right.
Because he was just not very smart.
Come at this from another angle, okay? I got nominated for the Grammy Music Teacher.
And it ruined you.
Right. Right. Well, that's what I was about to say. So I got nominated, for a Grammy Award for Music Teacher, Music Educator of the Year, right? Yep. Okay. That happened the first year, right? Let's assume that, that was great. It was a whole good thing. Okay. Then the next year, that was when we had all of those awesome performances with Ethan Bortnick and John Foreman and all that. Then we got hit with the pandemic. We didn't do all of that amazing stuff in that pandemic.
Due to no fault to you.
Right. Not any of my fault. Now let's just assume, okay?
There was a pandemic.
If I after, doing all of this stuff, and then we go through the pandemic and people just look at just the results, they would say, well, you didn't do as much as a music teacher after you won that, got that Grammy nomination,
No, it would be like if you just went around destroying everybody you teach.
Oh my gosh,
and
man.
bad-mouthing them.
But he's not doing that. That's what I'm saying. Well, it's all implied. It's all implications.
I really don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I heard him talking on the press conferences. He threw him under the bus.
Yeah, well.
I don't think there's a sportscaster or curmudgeon on the earth that wouldn't agree with the statement that he threw him under the bus.
Well, Al Michaels definitely agrees because you heard him in the broadcast that he was saying that he got thrown to the wolves from Cleveland. Yeah. And the thing was, Mary Kay was really upset about that because she said that he was under contract. They could have made him stay out his contract, but Andrew Barry purposely cut completely so that he could re-sign because they could have.
Well, now you're talking about a different person.
Yeah.
So Andrew Barry, very talented.
Yes.
And pretty
but he's
smart.
in charge. Yeah. That's my thing.
Well,
Stefanski's not in charge.
Yeah,
Stefanski's the head coach, but he's not in charge of player personnel. Supposedly, Andrew Berry's the one that makes those decisions. Now, obviously, we know that there was a rift in the organization with Odell and Baker and Stefanski. So he needed, it wasn't going to go
it's like
get any
three
better.
children on a playground.
Right.
In professional sports, making millions of dollars.
Yeah, right.
You can't get them to get along.
Right.
There you go.
We do have, it's always Stefanski. Well, the plan. You know what the plan isn't? I figured this out. Winning. The plan is not to win. The plan is to run Chubb,
now,
make Chubb look good, and not to let anybody else encroach on Chubb's greatness.
Right. Well, so I think that I agree with you in the sense that there was a lot of times where he was not necessarily winning at all costs.
One of those guys, it might have been your buddy Chris Collinsworth. He said, statistics are great, but they can't be the end all be all.
Right.
It was like going to the mount, man. Yeah. I mean, wisdom just shot out of the sky.
Well, so
there's nothing wrong with using statistics,
right?
But geez, it's not the end all be all. Here you got your eyes and your ears and your observations and your brain showing you that this is the situation. I got to go with the statistics.
So here's the thing: he is our coach next year.
I know.
So I want to go into the season, third year as the head coach. We had a winning season the first year. We had a bad season this year. We're 1-1. So let's see how it goes.
Not acknowledging the fact that everybody that watches, listens to, or follows football said Cleveland's probably got the stuff to go all the way.
They're still saying that. Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
for
they're
next
still
year?
saying that for next year.
I'm going to tell you what, nobody wants to play for Cleveland.
Well,
it's like the guy at driving the bus.
Yeah.
He's a little schizophrenic and he likes to go up the mountains and stuff. But, other than that, we'll just,
But that's the thing is, that's because you're a passionate fan. That's what we're seeing and we're saying. And again, you even acknowledge that the baggage of the 0-32, stuff is a huge part of what's driving this.
I read an article by Terry Pluto, and I just read it minutes ago. And the guy asked him, when's enough? And I was like, hallelujah.
Yeah,
man.
well, but that's...
Somebody actually gets it.
Okay, but that's a legitimate question. When do you say it's enough? I don't think after one winning season and one losing season, you could say we need to fire Stefanski.
You always say one losing season, and you leave out the part that he had the best team you could ever give him.
Yeah.
Now, awful quiet now there, Josh.
And we did.
He had the best team in the NFL.
The talent was there.
Yes. Yeah. And he couldn't do it with that.
Well, my point is, he's not fired. So
I know.
Is that the timer that says we've been talking football too long?
No, I don't know what timer that was. That was weird.
So
segue. I watched this little news clip of Myles Garrett in a dunk contest.
Oh yeah, did you see it?
It was awesome.
I gotta say, Myles Garrett, you are awesome. You are Superman.
He's quite the athlete.
Was he in the contest or was he? Yeah. Okay.
He was. I mean, that man's just incredible. He's a Superman.
Athlete. Yeah, he's Superman.
And like he'd go running down that court and people would be backing away.
Yeah, I know, right? No,
you get in his way, man.
They don't want none. That's it.
And he's not wearing a helmet to take off and shrug somebody.
I know, right?
I mean,
I did see the several dunks that he did. And I was like, man,
it was pretty. And
the height, spinning around the alley-oops
off the ground, like when you freeze it and see how far off the ground.
Well, just the dunk in general, I mean, that's a big deal.
That guy, he's just awesome, man. Yeah, he's
cool.
Definitely Hall of Fame material.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to have him on our team, and I feel like there are people like that on the team that deserve better.
Yeah.
They deserve a coach that, even him during the season was having problems with Stefanski.
Yeah.
We went into the locker room at halftime and nothing changed.
Yeah.
And he's like, who does that? Who does that? Because, why? Because the goal was not to win. Okay. The goal was to do his plan.
Right.
Which didn't include winning.
Yes.
You laughing at me, girl?
No, we need to move on to another topic.
The ref has
you just keep saying it, over and over again.
That's a hard knock, man.
No, it's not a hard knock. We get it. We get what you're saying. We have to see how it plays out. So, we got a whole off season here to see what moves are made and what changes happen.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
When he blows up the team,
No, you won't. No, you won't. We all know that. You'll be like, I told you. No, this is what you'll do. You'll say, there was a wise old man who said.
Pull out the wise old man.
That's what you do, yes. Oh, man. All right. So, we could probably take a break right there.
Yeah.
And then come back. All right, let's take a break there and we'll be right back.
Ron Kay's music instruction has been trusted by thousands in Pensacola to learn, play, and love music. Our strong passion for teaching music provides expert knowledge and guidance which helps you succeed and have fun with your music lessons. Whether it's a bucket list dream or a desire to enhance your child's life, our music lessons are the answer. Call 850-453-9966 now. Realize your musical dreams. Visit musiclessonspensacola.com today.
Okay, and now we're back. So.
Music. Music teaching.
Music. Well, so we were talking this week about banjo playing.
They really did put alcohol in my coffee. Just kidding.
We didn't.
No alcohol. Oh, man.
Yes, we decided that we would talk about the banjo today, and we had a post on Instagram and Facebook with Josh playing the banjo and beatboxing at the same time, which if you haven't seen it, it's very entertaining. It was just kind of a spontaneous thing.
Yeah, it was a funny thing because I had a student and we ended the lesson a little bit early, and so I was sitting there waiting for the next guy, and the song we were playing was Cumberland Gap, and so I was listening to it and I thought, this would sound cool if it was higher up the neck, so I put it in B and capoed like way up, to get the higher sounds, but it had a cool feeling to it, and just in a straight eighth kind of a feeling. So that's when, and then I thought, well, I wonder if I could, because I was hearing the beat in my head, so I was like, I wonder if I could put that together. And then I had to practice it because it was like I first started going.
You had to practice, which is important for our students to know.
You know what I did? I slowed it down.
And counted?
And I counted.
Wow.
That was it.
What a concept.
It was so funny. But then I got it, and then I did it, and it was cool. So
Josh, tell us, how did you get started playing the banjo?
So it was funny because
there was this wise old man.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. So Dad started playing the banjo and learning, and I actually was making fun of him the whole time. He was learning how to play the banjo.
I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah, he was like giving me the Jethro thing.
Yeah, I was like, play us another one, Jethro. Yeah. So, but then, you learn how to play, and then you kept telling me it was fun. Banjo's fun. It's a fun instrument. And I was like, I don't like that. Because I wasn't listening. I didn't listen to bluegrass music and country and stuff like that.
But you can do that and just pick it up and try it. And once you try it, you're going to get hooked.
Well, that was the thing. So really what was initially the draw was you said, well, because at the time I was just teaching... it was piano and guitar. I think that was it. I was just teaching those type of students. And, this was, early. I was like 17, I think. And I was going to PJC. I was doing Roland, right? And so you said, well, you should pick it up, and then I'll give you banjo students, And so I said, okay, so that's more money. I'll do that, So I did. So I, started. You gave me the books and you showed me the rolls and all that. And I mean, timing and technique and all that stuff was the same from playing guitar and piano and drums.
Finger picking guitar is
and finger picking on the guitar, right? Exactly. I mean, that was the thing. I think that the biggest thing I had to get used to from playing classical guitar, I was used to using my ring finger, and I couldn't do that. So that was probably the biggest thing to adjust to. But picked it up pretty quickly. And I was like, okay, I could teach banjo students now. And then we did. We got a bunch of banjo students, and I was able to
and then
teach
you got
them
better too, because when you're teaching, you do get better.
Oh, definitely. Then I also I enjoyed it, and I remember telling you, this is kind of fun. So so that was it. So I had just enough to be able to teach, beginning students and whatnot, and I was getting better and, still working on it and whatnot. But then, going to college and percussion major. So that was mostly my focus was percussion, and I finished my AA at PJC, and I was up there over the summer at the auditorium practicing because I was getting ready to audition for UWF, and a friend of mine got offered to play the banjo in a musical that they were putting on. Yeah, except he didn't know how to play the banjo.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem.
Because the director came to him and asked him, and he didn't want to say no, so he told him yes, and then he figured he'll figure it out. But then that was it. He didn't own a banjo. He didn't know how the banjo worked. He didn't know the tuning. It was just so eventually he ended up having to say, yeah, okay, I don't actually know how to play the banjo. So I was at the music building when he went and told the director, okay, I can't do the show. I don't know. So he comes up. I'm sitting in the atrium. I was taking a break, and there was a few other people there. It was quiet over the summers, because there's hardly anything going on. Mm-hmm. So there was a couple people. We were talking, and then he comes up. He's like, "Hey, you guys," and he said, "All right." So I had to tell Snowden that I can't do it, And I was like, well, yeah, because, you don't play the banjo, And then Chris overhears and he goes, wait a minute, you know how to play the banjo? I was like, yeah. Wait right here. And so he goes running down, and then he calls back. He's like, the man wants to see you. I was like, he's gonna make me do this show. So I go down and I go to his office, and he's like, so I hear you know how to play the banjo. I was like, yeah, I play the banjo. He's like, can you read this? And he hands me sheet music. Yeah. And of course I could read the sheet music, but that's not really common,
for banjo. So that was a plus. So because banjo usually reads what? Tab,
yeah.
And so because
it's like a modified tab. It's like a rhythm tab hybrid kind of thing.
So the good thing was, because you could read the notes of the staff, and apply that to the banjo, that gave you a leg up, and you're able to do the show.
Yeah, well, that was it. So that was the thing, is he asked me if I could read it. I said yes, and then he said, "Can you play the guitar?" I said yes. "Can you play the mandolin?" I said, yeah.
I want you to play all of them.
That was it. Yeah, it was all in the same part.
He probably just thought he struck gold.
That was it. So he said, I want you to do this show, and he told me the dates and the times, and he's like, and we're gonna pay you, and I was still, so I technically was a student, because that was my, I had just finished, school, and was getting ready to go to UWF, and he's like, we're gonna pay you, we're gonna pay you $330, to do this show, and I was like, okay. And see, I was working for you, and so
making more
than that, and working every night, teaching students every night. And so I said to him, well, that sounds good. I would like to do it, but I already have a job. I'm working for my dad. I'd have to miss those lessons and stuff, and I'm not sure that would work. It wouldn't be worth it for me. And then he turned to the secretary and he said, we're gonna pay him the professional rate. And her eyes got really big, and she was a friend of mine, so she's looking at me, and she's like she's giving me you better take this, and I said, all right, what's the professional rate? She said, it's $740.
Wow.
And I was like,
and then we're talking.
And then he says, I think your schedule just cleared up, didn't it? I said, yeah, I'm free the whole week. Yeah, so I did. I said yes, and then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I gotta tell Dad.
Yeah, how am I gonna pull
job?
this off?
Yeah, that's it. And I was like, okay, well, and so he gives me the music, and the thing was, they had already had a rehearsal, as a band. They had already had a rehearsal, and they didn't have a guitar, mandolin, or banjo. And so he's
this
like,
was late in the summer.
It was late. So he's like, he gives me the music, and it's like, you got 5 days to learn this music. And so, of course, I came home and told you, and you were like, yeah, this is a great opportunity, and we worked it out and everything. But, I mean, I'm telling you what, I busted my butt. I don't ever remember practicing that. That was like 6-hour sessions.
See, that opened the door, though, because you got many more shows.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I became the banjo guy.
Right.
Like that, so I did like 7 or 8 after that, and that was all through college.
Then from that, you got more students, because then kind of word was out. among the local musicians, even, that if you need to take lessons, this is the guy the go-to guy for banjo.
The banjo
and really,
dude.
I think that reputation still holds because
what Deering says.
Yes,
I was just gonna say. I mean, that's it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're both on the Deering. I am Josh K, but then Ron K's music as as banjo teachers in this area. We're like the only ones around. So. Yeah. So it was a cool thing. It was a great opportunity. I'm very thankful to Don Snowden for giving me that chance and allowing me to do that, and definitely paying me as a professional. But it was funny because he did tell me, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so
don't tell that was
anybody.
it. He was like, don't
You
tell
heard
anybody.
nothing.
Right. Yeah. Well, because there were friends of mine that were in the band that were getting paid as students, and he specifically said, I don't want them to know that I'm paying you the professional rate. And I said, I like totally get it.
So he's retired now, so there's going to be no
Oh
blowback from this.
That's it. So yeah, but
But
that
it's
was
good.
It was funny.
And really now, you're quite advanced on the banjo, and your students
Well, and
are
that a
getting
lot
more
of that
advanced.
was from doing those shows.
Right.
I mean, because I think it, and I tell people this all the time, and it's such a weird thing to me because you don't think about it like this. The hardest piece of music I ever had to play on the banjo was Chicago.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't think about banjo in Chicago, but it's all
Yeah.
that like vaudeville kind of sounding stuff, the chink
yeah.
chink chink ding 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 that kind
And
of
it
stuff.
makes the song really the music.
Yeah,
it's
it was mostly like strumming, you
Yeah.
know, and there was some roll type stuff here and there, and like melody and whatnot. But like, when do you have to play a diminished 7 chord on a banjo? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, there was
It's
stuff I was
difficult.
like, I'd never seen this before, so I had to look it up and
Figure it out.
yeah. I mean, it was some massive stuff, but it was good.
See, that's what education will do for you. It teaches you how to think.
Yes,
So
it does.
You would have
It's
never
awesome.
thought to look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Had you not been in the educational world.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's important. I mean, I tell my students all the time, I'd rather teach you how to figure something out. It takes a lot of patience as a teacher to wait your students out when you ask them to figure something out, because they figure they're going to wait you out.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll tell
Just
them the
tell
answer.
me what to do.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sometimes, it really, I've learned over the years to just wait till they can, and then if they don't get the answer, I want you to go back and figure this out. How are you going to do this?
Music is weight training for the brain.
There you go. And not WEIGHT, but WAIT.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
There
see
we
what I
go.
did
Look at
there?
you.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's right. Isn't that, what is that called? A homophone or homonym? I know it's okay.
We're sitting there talking about education, and then you bring up
You
something.
guys are
I
smart.
have no idea. Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
Oh my
Summer
gosh.
would know because she's in the 4th grade. They're studying
That's
that now.
so funny. Homonym? Isn't that
I
what it's
think
called?
that's what it's called.
It's called a homonym.
Those are words
Yes.
that sound
There we
the
go.
same but are
I don't know.
spelled
Automatopoeia, whatever.
That's like crash. Okay. But no, very good. I mean, I think that's an interesting story about banjo, and hopefully that's something that a lot of people can be motivated by, that you can learn multiple instruments. At the beginning of this whole evolution with Ron Case music instruction, people weren't teaching, music teachers weren't teaching multiple instruments. And it was kind of like,
Yes.
well, if you're a piano player, you just teach piano. If you're, a drummer,
Well, and there's
you
still,
just,
but
you
that's
know.
still a mindset. I see it all the time.
It was hugely different back when I started. I was the
Yeah.
only one
Oh, really?
that was multi-instrumentalist teacher. And, and now everybody is. So,
Yeah, wow.
Well, it is
Dude,
becoming.
massive trend.
Wait, he can do that. I can
Hey,
do that.
wait a minute.
Right.
Ron K's doing that?
My philosophy was music is music. man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't change because you change instruments. It's still music. Yeah.
Well, one of my piano students' mother asked me the other day, I don't even know why, like just randomly in the middle of the lesson, she said, was piano your major instrument? And I said, no, voice was my major instrument. And then I thought, oh, geez, what, she's going to quit now because I wasn't a piano major. But
Well, I know because I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, because it is like with the banjo for me, because my first instrument was drums, right, and then piano and then guitar. And if you said what are your major instruments for me, probably those three, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, drums, piano, guitar, you know, for sure drums and percussion, because that's what I majored in college, right?
Somebody would ask me, which instrument is Josh the best at? Which is your best instrument?
Oh.
I mean, that question is different.
Well, I used to think it was guitar, hands down, but I think that your drumming has improved pretty much over the years.
But I don't
really?
hear you.
You think so?
I don't hear you play the drums a lot. So I hear you play the banjo, and
I was
going to
have
the
him
guitar.
play the drums on some new recordings, but then I get jealous.
Yes. Oh no, trust me, it is the hardest thing. Like I have a drum student right now that's starting to get pretty good. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and it's like I have to on the electronic. I'm so glad that you put in the electronic cymbals and not the real cymbals, because I have to like, she's playing and I turn the volume down and I gotta play with her. Like
no, and that's true. I actually do that with my piano students. A lot of the more advanced students, I'll mute, because I'm online with a lot of them, and I mute it. And then I play along.
You're playing with them?
Yeah,
that's funny.
and because it really helps me to get better, and it helps
well,
me to
I
see...
mean, but the reason why is because we love...
Yeah,
it's fun. We love it. I know, that's it. It's so cool to play them, especially when you got a student who's doing well. You get excited and you want to jump in there too, you know?
Well, and I do the same with the voice students. I'll mute and sing along, but it's... You know, it really is, we love what we do, and we love seeing our students get better, and then it makes us better teachers, because then we get excited and inspired by them as well. So, but I think, I really still think you're the go-to guy in this area for banjo. I mean, I think,
without a doubt.
Yeah, we do get a lot of calls about banjo, and I think...
Well, I love it. And I really love my banjo students. I mean, you know... They're
well, and
good.
It's fun.
Well,
I mean,
you have banjo students that have been with you for quite some time now.
Yeah.
That's a testimony to your good teaching.
Yes.
That they feel it's still worth it, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I like that. And a lot of them are older guys, you know.
I know, I love it. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we had a call from somebody last week or so, and he was like, "Yeah, do you teach old guys?" You know, I was like,
almost exclusively.
And that's what I told him. That's exactly what I said. I said pretty much almost exclusively. Like I'm kind of that guy, you know, because the thing is, and you know, it's not just me, but all of you guys, you know, teach people like this that, you know, always wanted to play.
Yes.
You know, and for one reason or another, life gets in the way. Never happened. Never, you know, pulled the trigger on that. And then, you know, you're retired and you have time, and it's like, well, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? Right?
It's never too late.
It's never too late. No, and that's like
one drum student was in his 90s, man. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
You can do it, you know. Yeah. And like when you talk to those old guys and say, well, you know, the most important thing is that you practice and you find the time to do that practice. Oh, I got time. I don't do that all day, you know.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's good. Now you got to do the work.
Right.
But in all fairness, you do have some young banjo students as well.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. Well, and I definitely appreciate those
flight students and you know.
Well,
teachers.
and that was actually, you know, that's the thing is that, you know, I want those younger banjo students, you know, because it's something that's got to continue to progress. Yeah. And, you know, specifically with one of my younger banjo students right now, you know, he's really into some newer artists that are taking the banjo and that style and kind of doing new things with it, you know.
Bela Fleck.
Yeah, well, that's it. Bela Fleck,
cool.
Billy Strings. You know, some of these other newer artists that are out there are kind of pushing the boundaries, so to speak. That it's not just this strict traditional country bluegrass that you can play. You know, you can do all this other stuff, and it's really creative. You know, and so I can really get behind that. Really appreciate that. But you know, it's the kind of thing that if you know, it'll die out if it doesn't continue, you know, if we don't continue to teach. And so, you know, that's also why, like, I, you know, specifically bring the banjo to school, you know, from time to time and teach the younger kids and show them, because a lot of times, you know, you pull up a case of anything that has a long neck on it and they say, oh, it's a banjo, you know. I'm like, no, it's a guitar. It's not, you know, because they really don't know. No. So when I show them, like, no, this is actually a banjo, and they're like, but it looks like a drum, you know. It's like, you know, and get to talk to them about it. It's cool.
Well, it is great. At school, I do a lesson on banjo each year too, because, you know, if you ask anybody, you know, where did the banjo come from, most people think it's just
Kentucky.
Yes, that's exactly. I think it's an American instrument somehow. Came
the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
it.
go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. And that's not the case.
No.
So where did the banjo come from, Mr.
Africa.
K?
Came
It
from
came
Africa.
from Africa.
Yeah, several different regions
It
of
surely
Africa.
doesn't sound like an African instrument, traditional African instrument.
Right. Well, it depends on. That's the thing. So it depends on how it's being played. If you listen to a traditional gourd banjo,
Right.
you know, with the nylon strings on it and stuff like that, and you can kind of get that idea, you know, and especially when you compare it, because there, you know, still countries in Africa where people are playing the traditional instruments that the banjo kind of came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of hear that, but it definitely changed a lot, you know, over the years, you know, as it started to spread, you know, up north, you know. Apparently, Indiana became like a massive hotspot for bluegrass music, yeah. And I really didn't have any idea until I took that music history class, you know, at Boston. Go Terriers! I took that music history class, and I remember we did a discussion post, and I specifically said, like, I was so surprised to hear about Indiana being this hotbed for bluegrass music. And the professor answered me back and said, yeah, there's actually like festivals that happen every year that, you know, people all gather. It was like it's a really big deal. It's a really rich part of the culture and history up there, you know, so it's kind of interesting.
Well, one of our students, Gene, he goes to those festivals.
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while, you know, especially with COVID and everything.
COVID
you know,
kind of shut it down.
Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely been to a few of those, and some of those camps they look like they're a lot of fun. Just get a bunch of people together and jam, and you know, I mean, shoot, you get to jam with like, you know, amazing musicians, you know, like Tony Trisco comes and
there
sits
is
down
a lot
and,
of people out there that can really play well.
Oh yeah,
and you just don't hear about them.
Yeah,
because they're truck drivers or whatever. You know, they're not making, you know, Broadway or whatever.
Yeah, they're not recording artists traveling the world, you know, and well, we know that. Fun. We know that from visiting Nashville. You know, it's like I was talking to somebody about how like the guys busking on the street are like some of the best musicians I've ever heard.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great instrument. It's very interesting. Has a rich history.
Yeah.
Has unique sound, and it's a lot of fun to play.
I know.
So everyone should play the banjo.
I want to go play right now.
There you go. You've got it. There's one sitting.
They need to check us out on Facebook. Show some love, and you can watch Josh play.
There you go. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yes.
Ron K's Music Instruction. So yeah, you need to go check it out, and you know, if you want to learn how to play the banjo or any instrument,
yes,
you need to give us a call.
And
set it up.
I want to broach that subject of any instrument, because I'm always surprised. You know, hey Josh, I got a call from this guy, and he wants to learn how to play a cigar box banjo. Can you teach that? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I actually do. So,
or the dulcimer.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You
too.
know, I mean, a lot of these. I tell people the only thing we don't teach is accordion, and I don't know why. It's just
I know, and you know what's so funny is I actually have looked into like getting an accordion. Yeah.
Where are you gonna put? You gonna rent another place?
That's what I'm gonna have. I might have to get a bigger apartment.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, you know, I play all these instruments. Why don't you teach piano? It's just not something that I really had a great desire to play.
Yeah,
you know.
Really.
Well,
I can appreciate it.
Well, you
you
know how to.
I have played.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know how to play.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't play it on a regular basis. You should.
Yeah.
You should play the piano more.
You guys won't get a chance because I'll be hogging it.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's what happened.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Well, this was fun, guys. So I think that's a pretty natural stopping point right there. So, so if you guys are interested in any instrument, you need to give us a call or go to our website, musiclessonspensacola.com. We are doing things in person and remote, so we can teach anywhere around the world, really. And we've been very successful. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button. Tell your friends about it. And let us know if there's anything that you'd like for us to talk about. If you got any coffee you want us to try. We definitely take free coffee. It's always it's never going to turn that down. So Yeah, but yes, definitely check us out. Ron K's Music Instruction on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Am I forgetting anything?
Go
I don't
Browns.
think so. Yeah, go Browns. Go Browns. There we go. There we go. Yes, beginning intro and outro music has been recorded by Ron K on his new album, K-Struction, as well as a few singles, Heart's Desire, what am I forgetting? Just a Memory.
2 minutes of your time.
2 minutes of your time. Yeah, the new one's working on the new album, so be sure to check those out as well. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next time on Coffee with the K's.